Hello comic book fans, this is your host Travis Collins, aka Duck Punch, and I am back for a new episode of Duck Punch Comics. Now, Sunday I said that I had to work a double shift tomorrow, so I might not have been able to put an episode up, but I am here today, the first of 2 episodes today, because, ladies and gentlemen, I have a day off. I know, isn't it great? So we are here again with 4 more books that came out on September 1st, 2010. Today we have Secret Six, number 25, Avengers, Children's Crusade, number 2, Haunt, number 9, and Captain America, Forever Allies, number 2. Now, like we always do, we jump right to the stories with Secret Six, number 25, written by Gail Simone, with artwork by Jay Calafiore. Now, I can't explain it, and I can't even begin to understand it, but it turns out that there are actually still people out here not reading Secret Six, which has for over 2 years now been the most consistently awesome book from DC. Hell, it's in strong contention for the best comic on the stands right now. Yeah, it's that good. Now this issue starts a whole new story arc that sees the Secret Six split into 2 factions. We have Bane and Jeanette leading a more sort of professional team of stone-cold killers, while Scandal Savage leads the rest of the team off doing their own little thing. Now both teams are hired by the U.S. government to go out to the underground world of Skartaris. One team is there to conquer it, and the other is there to save it. Of course, this means the 2 teams will inevitably come into conflict. Now, Simone has gotten a lot of grief in the past for some of her work, but pretty much everyone agrees that Secret Six is probably her best work ever. She has taken an otherwise unlikable and otherwise second or third string cast of characters and molded them into one of the most interesting and exciting teams out there. Reading this book, you really get the sense that they have banded together because, for the most part, no one else wants them. Add to that the gripping stories that Simone tells, and you have the recipe for one of the best comic books in a really long time. Now, Calafiore has been the artist on this book for a long time now, and he clearly knows what he's doing. As always, he does not disappoint. Secret Six started off as kind of a cult classic book, and is slowly becoming more and more widely appreciated. All I can say is, it's about damn time. Next up, Avengers, the Children's Crusade number 2, written by Alan Heinberg, with art by Jim Cheung. Now, when it was announced that Alan Heinberg would be coming back to write The Young Avengers, a book he created and received no end of acclaim for, there was great rejoicing throughout the land. But 2 issues in, I'm starting to wonder if maybe that joy was a little premature. And this picks up from the end of last issue, with Magneto attempting to enlist the aid of Wiccan and Speed, members of the Young Avengers, and 2 boys who might well be the sons of his daughter, the Scarlet Witch, who has been missing ever since nearly destroying all of reality. The Avengers intervene to try and drive Magneto off, but the Young Avengers throw their lot in with him, and they escape to the nation of Transia, where they find Magneto's son Quicksilver waiting for them. A small fight ensues, and the location of the Scarlet Witch is revealed, though in the worst possible place. The problem I'm having here is that Heinberg is really not telling a story, as much as stringing together really cool moments. It seems to be more about showing just how awesome the Young Avengers are, especially in comparison to the, old Avengers? Anyway, rather than actually telling a really good story. Besides which, half of the story seems to be just completely shoehorned in. We have a fight with the whole Avengers, then a fight with Quicksilver in the same issue. Or it just seems completely redundant. I mean, seriously, how many times is Magneto going to explain that he needs to reconnect with his family? I know it's only issue 2, but come on. Chung is alright, I guess. I just really don't see what people get so excited over him about. At the end of the day, this is an alright issue, but Heinberg isn't really earning the praise that so many people gave him for his previous Young Avengers work. The mothballs are showing, and the story is one that needs some work. Next, Haunt, number 9, written by Robert Kirkman and Todd McFarlane, with art by Greg Capullo. Now, in my preview show, I compared this book to Spider-Man meets Spawn. This issue probably highlights that analogy better than any so far. Now, while there is a lot of derivativeness going on here, the story is also surprisingly solid, if not just a little bit gruesome. Now, Haunt, who's now a full agent of the agency, goes on a mission to try and find the files of the scientist who helped create the suit that gives him his powers. The mission gets complicated when a freaking army of mercenaries is waiting there for him. After turning the army into dog food, Haunt tries to stop the survivors from escaping with the last of the data, but is confronted by Cobra, the man he nearly killed back in issue 2. A fight ensues and promises big problems next issue. Like I said, a lot of this story is pretty derivative, but Kirkman is at least attempting to tell something resembling a good story. Now, as with all Kirkman books, there is an element of just wait for the story to be over, then it'll all make sense. And while that element is as frustrating as ever, it is much more subdued here than in, say, Invincible or Walking Dead. Capullo takes a lot of getting used to, and I'm not a fan of the sketchy style he favors, but it does sort of fit the story. I just don't really like it. Haunt is solid, but probably not for everyone, especially if you aren't a fan of hyper-violence and gore. The story is intriguing, though, and I'm still on board for a little while longer. Last up from this episode, Captain America Forever Allies number 2, written by Roger Stern, with art by Mike Dragato. It's Nick, sorry, I'm having a dyslexic moment. Nick Dragato and Marco Santucci. I'm a huge fan of the new Captain America, so I was excited to see a miniseries focusing on him. Halfway through this miniseries now, I'm starting to wonder if my love has been abused. Now, Captain America is continuing to search for the mysterious Lady Lotus, whom he and the original Young Allies went up against during the heyday of World War II. The reader discovers that her plot revolves around a mysterious diamond which amplifies her mind control powers. But with most of the Allies now dead or beyond old, Bucky has to beat her all by himself without the help of any backup. Now, I can appreciate a good Captain America story, but this kind of feels, I don't know, flat. Captain America fighting an evil agent of Imperial Japan like he did back in the war. We've seen this before. We've seen this done before and done better. So why am I paying money for a subpar story that is probably going to not matter one iota down the road? I do, however, like how the two artists play off of each other, with Dragata drawing the more modern elements of the story with a modern style, and Santucci handling the 1940s story with a more pulp style. It's pretty cool, really. Not innovative necessarily, but pretty cool. I want to like this, but there's no getting around how dull this story has been. I probably won't be picking up the last 2 issues. I know, sad day. So there you go, guys. 4 more issues that came out on September 1st. We'll be back later this afternoon with the last episode, looking at the last 4 books. As always, leave comments, let me know what you thought, and hope you guys have a good day.